In this section of the course, we will begin to work on the last details of our application and leave everything ready for publication in Apple and Google Play stores. We will start by adding the last needed features to our app. First, we will add an experience to search for all the treasures created by the users. We create a new file with the name searchtreasure.ms. We enter this new file and delete the default content of the experience. Experience, search treasure, open curly brackets, close curly brackets. In this experience, we define attributes for the search criteria that we will use to filter the results. For the search, we will filter based on treasure points, status, and if it has been found or not by someone. We define the following attributes. First, a label that indicates the search for treasure points, so we define an attribute of string type, named text-first-search, with value equal to search by points, and bound to a label component. Below this, an attribute of bool type, named search by point, and bound to a checkbox component. Finally, an attribute of integer array type, named points, bound to a component select. Now we lack the attributes for the search by state of the treasure, so we will create on. We define an attribute of string type, called text-second-search, with value equal to search by treasure status, and bound to a label component. Then, an attribute of string array type, named status treasure, and bound to a select component. Now we have to add an attribute to show the result of the search. So we will create a model that will have only the attributes that we want to show of the treasure and not all of its information. In file models.ms, we create a model named treasure search, which will have 4 attributes. The first attribute will be of string type and named name. The second one will be of integer type and of name points. The third one of string type called has been found. And finally, an attribute of string type named creator name. After defining our model, we return to the file searchtreasure.ms. In experience, as a last attribute, we will add a treasure search array named listTreasure, bound to a list component. Now we have completed the definition of our experience, but we need to make an adjustment. A list component can only be bound to a basic array, and we have bound it to a treasure search array. To be able to visualize an array of models, we have to use templates. Templates in Matter are used for the visualization of models in list and select UI components. In this way, we can correctly visualize all its attributes. To create a template, we go to the Build UI section and in the left panel, click on the plus icon and select Create Template. A window will open in which we will have to enter the name of the template, in this case, Treasure Search. Once created, in the right panel, we will have to add 4 attributes to show all the attributes of the Treasure Search model. For this, we will go to the UI Components panel and create a horizontal container component and 2 label components. Now, we have to enter the label inside the horizontal container. We will do the same thing 3 times more, to obtain 4 horizontal containers with 2 labels inside each one. When we have this, we will select from the right side panel the label of each container, and we will modify the percentage width of all the labels to 0.5. Now we will modify the default value of the first label of each container. In the first label, we enter the value name, colon. In the second, points, colon. In the third, found, question mark. And in the last, creator, colon. Now, we just need to enter the binding values to be able to link our components in the template to the attributes of the models where it will be used. For this, we will enter the second label of each container and add the binding values that we will use. In the first case, the value will be name. In the second, points. In the third, has been found. And in the last, creator name. This way, we have finished our template. We just have to use it in our layout. We go to the Search Treasure layout in the list of layouts and select the list component from the right side panel. Once selected, the right side panel will display Template and Template Binding. First, we have to select our template Treasure Search from the list. It will show us the components to which we can bind an attribute. To make the binding of the attributes to the components of a template, we have to use double curly brackets and use the word item followed by a period. In this way, we are referencing the attributes of the type of model that contains the array bound to the component. After the period, we use the attributes of the model. First, name. In the second, points. In the third, has been found. And finally, creator name. We have finished our experience. We only need to add it to our cross menu. We display the menu list and select our App menu. Then, we select the right panel and add a new item with the title Search Treasure, and then select the Search Treasure layout. Finally, we will have to go back to the modeler and go to the file models.ms. In this file, we will have to modify the function navigate to main menu and add the default constructor Search Treasure in the push statement of the menu. We can now save our application and test it on our device.